Good morning, welcome to day 4 of the Kickstart. Wow, hasn't this week just flown by? That's incredible. I can't believe it's day 4 already. I have reached out to every single one of you in the last 24 hours to see how you're getting on. Had some great conversations with people. It's been really interesting to hear the light bulb moments that you're having, what the things are that you're still struggling with, you know, new bits of information that have really helped you and how you're all getting on. So thank you so much to all of you that have engaged, have responded to me. I love helping you, so thank you. Today we are talking about exercise. Now, irrespective of whether or not you've got weight to lose, exercise is the number one act of self-care that you can take. It is so important for your health. I'm a big advocate of moving your body. We're going to talk loads about that today, and specifically the types of exercise that are most useful for you. But what I'd just like to share with you is how exercise has really changed so many of my clients' lives. When a lot of my clients come to me, they barely get out for a walk. And through working with me in my programs, they start moving more than just walking. I get them lifting weights. Some of them have taken up running, and it has hugely impacted them, but not for the reasons that you think, not because it has accelerated their weight loss. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about Leslie. Leslie didn't particularly enjoy exercise when she first got in contact with me, and then we started talking about just how important exercise is for your long-term health, for your future, for your bone density, you know, for your mental health as well as your physical health. And that really clicked with Leslie, and she started finding ways to enjoy exercise. And now it's become second nature to her and just a no-brainer. And as one of my more mature clients, I am just thrilled to see that, because by exercising regularly, she is ensuring that she's doing something great for her health every day. So she does my workouts, she walks loads, she was already walking anyway, she swims, she goes to the gym, and I just love to see it. So, you know, Leslie is one of my older clients. I'm not going to give her age away because that's just rude, but let's just say that she's in her 60s and she's fabulous, and I'm really proud of her. But if that is anything, that if you can take away anything from this, if you don't exercise regularly at the moment, if Leslie can do it, you can do it. So exercise is super important for your quality of life and the length of your life. By lifting weights, by moving your body, you are ensuring and helping your bone health. You are doing the only true thing you can to slow down the aging process. Forget Botox, forget expensive, you know, facial treatments that you might go to a clinic for. The true thing that you can do to slow down aging is by exercising, specifically lifting weights. Exercise is really super important if you are peri or postmenopausal. It helps you to manage some of those menopause symptoms. And really, it's a superpower. Exercise is a superpower. And if you take nothing else away from these 5 days, I want you to take away just how important it is to move your body. Now, I know that lots of you are confused about what you should be doing in terms of exercise. I'm going to talk about that today and what is the best exercise for you to do. I know that some of you don't know where to start, so I'm going to give you some help with that. But firstly, I know that you are all busy and short on time. I know that. I know that because most of you have put that in your registration forms. I need a sip of water. Excuse me. Now listen, there is not one single woman I work with that isn't busy and short on time. Okay, but when I tell you that exercise is the number one act of self-care you can take, and when I finished this lesson today and told you just how important it is for you, I'm really hoping that you will start to realize you need to find the time, you need to make the time, you need to book the time to exercise. Okay, things don't happen by accident. So yep, you're busy. That's not a reason not to. It is not a reason not to. You are ensuring health, or doing everything you can to ensure good health going forward, and that should not be taken for granted. So I really, really want you to take that away from today. I know that you are really busy. And I know you're short on time, but please, please, please don't underestimate how important exercise is. So today we're going to be talking about, like I said, the types of exercise that I want you to be doing and the biggest mistakes that you're making with your exercise. But first thing I want to talk about is your goals. Okay, so reading through your registration forms, most of you said to me that you want to lose weight, get healthier and fitter, and tone up. They were the majority of the answers that I got. Okay. Now, here's one mistake that lots and lots of people make, and it's that you confuse weight loss and fat loss. And this is something I talk to my clients about all of the time, and it is something that is really hard to get your head around, and I understand that. But let's just really talk about the difference between weight loss and fat loss. So weight loss is describing what you actually see on the scales when you stand on them. So it could be losing half a stone. However, those scales, and I don't care if they are those expensive body scanner scales, I'll talk about those in a minute, cannot tell you if you've lost fat. So whilst you might have been, and we're going to talk about focusing on the scales tomorrow, but whilst you might have been, thinking I want to lose half a stone, 2 stone, actually what I want to really talk to you about is it is fat that you actually want to lose, because your total weight when you stand on the scales is, yes, you're fat, but the water you have in your body, your muscle mass, all your organs, your skin, your hair, the undigested food from yesterday's dinner, it's everything. It's actually the fat on your body, the excess fat that you want to get rid of. That's the part that is the bit you don't like looking at, the wobbly part, the bobbly part. That is the part that if you are holding it specifically around your tummy, that can be quite dangerous, because if you're holding it around your tummy, it's around your organs. So that is the part that is most dangerous. It is actually fat that you want to lose. And if you want to look toned, if you want to look healthy, if you want to look fit, you need to lose body fat and create muscle definition. So if you don't have any muscle definition, you need to build some muscle. Okay, and in order to look toned, you need to be in a calorie deficit, which we talked about when I explained how diets work. You need to eat your protein, which is one of your habits. You need to do your steps, which is also one of your habits. And you need to lift weights. Because you could lose weight on the scale but not change your body fat. You could lose muscle tone, you could lose some water retention and a bit of fat. But if you've actually not changed your body fat, you're not going to achieve that toned, healthy look that you're after. Okay? Think about some, famous comparisons here. Think about long distance runners, marathon runners. Okay? Now, there is no doubt in my mind, those people are fit. When it comes to cardio fitness, those guys are fit, right? But think about the way that they look. Think about their, their body shape. Yep, you can probably see a bit of muscle, but actually they have that very, very skinny look to them. Because lifting weights, building muscle and looking toned is not the goal for them. They just need to run fast. Whereas if you think of some celebrities, now I always go to Pink because I absolutely adore her, but there are so many female celebrities that you could think about. J-Lo, for example, people like Eva Longoria. Who else does? I know Frankie Bridge does. They have that toned look. Okay, they have that fit look. They look toned. You can see muscle definition. That's two very distinct body types. Okay, and that comes from completely different exercise. And so getting that toned, defined look will not come from loads and loads and loads of cardio. So you might think that loads of HIIT classes, running, spinning, all of those things are what are going to get you that fit, toned look that you want, but actually that's not. I know many of you run. I enjoy running. I used to do quite a bit of spinning because I enjoy it. I run classes myself. I run classes in the village here. I run classes online. And because of the nature of those classes and people are doing them from home with, you can only have a certain level of dumbbells in your house. They have to be fairly HIIT based, and I try to get as much strength into them as possible. But a lot of your classes are, all your spinning, all your running, that is all cardio. But actually the majority of your exercise needs to be lifting weights. And I don't mean, squatting with your 4 kilogram dumbbells. I mean lifting as heavy as you can, at least 3 times a week. And this is so important for all the reasons I've talked about, but as women of a certain age, it is important for your bone mineral density. Okay, that is so important. So think about if you've ever had, grandparents or parents who have taken a fall and they've broken a hip. As we get older, we lose bone mineral density. Our bones get weaker. That is part of the natural aging process. And for us women, it's where, it starts when our estrogen levels start to dip. The best thing you can do to prevent that happening is to lift weights. As I've already said, it will help you to slow down the aging process. I ran the London Marathon 10 years ago, and I think I look better and I certainly feel better than I felt 10 years ago because I was approaching life very, very differently. So if you want that look, calorie deficit, you're walking, your protein, some cardio, I'm not telling you not to run. I'm not saying don't run if you enjoy running. I enjoy running. I run 1 to 2 times a week, but your priority needs to be lifting weights. That is for your physique, for how you want to look, for losing body fat, right? Or for changing your body fat. But overall, I just want you to move. Okay, so that's why, that's the things I want to talk about in terms of the mistakes that you're making, or the first mistake that you're making is that you think loads of cardio and loads of HIIT is what's going to help you to get the look that you're after. Actually, it's not. So let's go through some of the biggest mistakes that I see women making. Okay, and the first one is about looking at the calories you've burned on your watch. Now, don't get me wrong, I love logging my workout on my watch, starting my watch at the beginning of a workout. Do I look at the calories burned? No. They are irrelevant, they don't matter, and what's more, they're not accurate, because you could wear 2 different brand watches on your wrists and maybe a heart rate strap around your chest, and you would get a different reading off of all of those. So stop looking at the calories burned when you're exercising, because they're irrelevant. I could give you a workout to do tomorrow that would burn you 500 calories in like 45 minutes. And it would just involve loads of jumping around, loads of things that get your heart rate high. Because that's all your smartwatch, your device is doing, is it's taking your heart rate, it's taking what it knows about you, and it's making a rough calculation. But actually it doesn't know what the temperature is outside. I just ran boot camp. So I'm recording this on Wednesday for release first thing Thursday morning. I just ran boot camp for some of my ladies outside in really hot weather, and they will have burnt more calories in that hot weather, even though we weren't doing any jumping around because of the heat. That was terrible English. Okay, so stop exercising just to burn calories. Just because you've burnt, like I said, I could give you a workout that burns you 500 calories in 45 minutes. Just because you've burnt 500 calories, it does not mean it was an effective workout. It just means your heart rate was high. Calorie burn does not include effectiveness. Okay? Like I said, I've just trained 3 ladies at boot camp, and because it was a small class, I was able to, rather than make it really HIIT based and really kind of circuits based, we did a pure strength workout with the weights that I took them. So we moved slowly, we lifted as heavy as possible, and believe me, they were feeling that. Now, would they have burnt by their watch the same amount of calories as if I'd got them jumping around, or as if they'd gone out for a run for that 45 minutes? No, they wouldn't have. But believe me, they were working. They were, their heart rate would have spiked up during that workout. They were working the muscles. They were building the muscles. So calorie burn doesn't indicate an effective workout. It also doesn't indicate strength. It doesn't indicate growing muscles. In order to really truly work out how many calories you're burning, you need to go into a lab, be hooked up to a load of machines. You need, it costs loads of money. It needs to be really controlled and in a really controlled environment. Well, who wants to do that? I used to go to the gym, and I used to get on the Stairmaster, and I would stay on that Stairmaster until I'd burnt a certain amount of calories. And I used to have a PT at the time as well, and if I hadn't burnt a certain amount of calories by the time my PT session started with him, I would go back on the Stairmaster afterwards. And that gave me a real damaged relationship with my body and with exercise. It's completely different now because I've learned how to move. I've learned what an effective workout is. But if you are staying on the cardio machine, if you are just doing certain exercises until you've burnt a certain number of calories, stop. But we don't exercise to burn calories. In fact, exercise is a terrible way to burn your calories. You only burn between 5 and 10% of your calories per day during, kind of official exercise. You will burn more calories by just generally being more active, parking a bit further away at the supermarket, getting a little walk in, getting up from your desk every hour for a few minutes. You will burn way more calories that way than you will just trying to sweat it out and burn calories in the gym. So stop using your exercise as your weight loss tool. Stop using exercise just to burn calories. Okay? So that's the first mistake that I want to talk about. Second mistake is sweat. So who's heard of the term sweat is just fat crying? It's not. Okay, I used to believe that if I wasn't sweating, I wasn't doing a good workout. But here's something to think about. Some people are really sweaty and some people aren't. So again, if I go back to just doing boot camp with 3 of my ladies, we were working out in the sunshine. 2 of the ladies were sweating and 1 of them wasn't. Does that mean she wasn't working out as hard as the other 2? No, it's just she's not a sweaty person. It's not your body getting rid of your fat. It's your body trying to cool itself down. So, if sweat was really an indication of us getting rid of fat or being an effective way to lose fat, we could just go and sit in a hot country, or at the time of recording this, it's really hot outside. I could just go and sit outside for 6 hours and boil, and then I'd lose a stone, right? Well, we know that's not going to happen. Yes, you might lose some scale weight because you've sweat and you're a bit dehydrated, but that's not fat. It's not the same as fat. Okay, so really high intensity workouts. I've talked about cardio a bit. Here's the thing. If you're focusing on jumping around, spinning, running, and thinking that getting your heart rate really high and getting yourself really sweaty is an effective workout and an effective way to lose fat, I need you to stop believing that. So I ran a half marathon at the beginning of June. I've been training for it since about the end of January. And believe me when I tell you, running is not an effective way to lose weight because it makes you hungry. I actually gained body fat training for that half marathon. Okay, and I'm not telling you that running is bad. I love running, but it is not an effective tool for weight loss. It will make your hunger spike. Okay, so don't think that the only way or the best way to get your exercise is to do loads and loads of high intensity cardio, jumping around and sweating, because it's not going to. Okay, it's going to tire you out. It's going to spike your hunger. Cardio won't make you lean and toned. Yes, you might lose weight on the scales, but that doesn't mean it's body fat. Okay. Other mistakes is thinking that lifting weights is going to make you bulky. Okay, believe me, I have been trying for years to gain muscle. Years. It's really hard to do that. It takes a lot of food, a lot of protein, a lot of hard work, and for some people, performance enhancing drugs. So if you're new to lifting weights, yes, you might gain some muscle quite quickly, but you are not going to look like a man. You're not going to get bulky. If you see pictures of women looking really bulky, I promise you that they are probably taking performance enhancing drugs. That's why they look like that. We do not have enough testosterone in our bodies to get bulky. That's just the honest to God truth of it. So I will share some pictures in the group of myself that you may not have seen, and you'll see that my journey from being overweight to extremely, I would call myself skinny fat, to then actually skinny, and then now toned. Okay, and it's taken years to get to achieve that look. worried about getting injured. So again, if you are worried about getting injured and that's what holds you back from exercise, here's what I want to say. Exercise will help you to prevent injury. You know, I work with women that do a lot of running, and they run competitively. And one of the first things I do is I get them strength training, because it will help prevent injury. I've got some women who, you know, have some illnesses and some long-term injuries that they need to navigate. And we navigate them, but actually the movement, the strength training helps them to manage their injuries and their illnesses. Okay? So they're the biggest mistakes that I see women making. And I just kind of want to summarize a little bit here. Is, you know, you maybe have been thinking about, you know, you just want to get down to a certain weight. And again, I'm going to talk about scales tomorrow. You have probably, you know, you've probably in the past tried to get down to the lightest weight possible that you can. And this is really, really hard to get your head around. I understand, because it took me a long time. But lifting weights will shape and sculpt your body. Lifting weights will give you energy. Your workouts should enhance your life, not make you feel worse. Yes, they might be hard to do whilst you're doing them. But rather than trying to get as small as you can, as tiny as you can, as light as you can, how about thinking, I want to get as strong as I can. I want to be able to, when I'm 80, 90, get myself up off the toilet. Like, that's one of my goals. I train because I don't want my son having to be the one to get me up and down off the toilet when I'm 90 years old. I want to be able to do that myself. I want to be able to continue to carry the shopping bags and not have to rely on someone else to do it for me. I want to be able to get around independently. I want to be as strong as possible, as independent as possible, for as long as possible. And to do that, I need to not eat as little as possible. I need to not focus on getting as small and as light as possible. I need to focus on fueling my body, on moving my body, and getting strong. So diet and exercise should enhance your life, not make you feel worse. And I think I mentioned this yesterday. I could put you all on really, really low calorie diets and get you amazing weight loss results. But what that won't do is that won't give you great physical aesthetic results. You won't necessarily have lost body fat. You won't look toned. You won't be stronger. You won't be fitter. And in fact, you would probably feel worse. So what I want you to think about is, how can you start incorporating strength training 3 times a week? And tomorrow morning, you're going to have the chance to work out with me live in one of my client workouts. So I've given you access to 3 of those already. It does mean you'll have to be ready to work out at 6:30 in the morning. So if you want to join me live, that's the time it is. And that will be a strength-based workout. So if you've got some dumbbells, bring them with you. If not, some bottles of water or some tins of beans will do. So I want you to be working out 3 times a week. That's a great number to aim for. And maybe if you're starting brand new, you start aiming for 1 to 2 a week. But I want you to think about this. Getting stronger means an easier life. It means your day-to-day life will be easier. You will have a better posture. You will be improving your bone density. If you're experiencing menopause symptoms, you will be helping your menopause symptoms. Older people fall by lifting weights, by building your strength, by building muscles. You will be preventing yourself from falling, because you will improve your balance, you will improve your muscle strength. And if you do fall, you will reduce your risk of bone breakage. You'll be strengthening your joints. If you've got achy knees, this will help your knees. If you've got injuries, this will help with your injuries. Running and spinning won't help those things. And remember, the goal is not to burn as many calories as possible. It is to get you stronger, to get you fitter, to get you healthier. So by all means, incorporate some of your cardio. But, you know, for most people, getting your steps is enough cardio, because if you are doing the right strength workouts, that will also be cardio. And remember, exercise is a really inefficient way to burn calories and to lose body fat. Your weight loss, your fat loss comes from your nutrition. Okay? Your exercise, the weights, the strength training will shape and sculpt your body. And that's exactly what my aim is to do in my last Diet Club program, because I will give you specific workouts that you can do at home or in the gym, whichever suits you best, as well as joining me for my live workouts or watching them on demand if you want to. So today's task then is for you to look through my meal ideas for mums guide that is in the resources section, which will give you some really kind of high level tips for creating meals without a fuss. So if you use that in conjunction with the guide that helps you to plan your week, you are going to be off to an amazing start. So it's been lovely to be here with you again. I hope you can tell this is something that I am super excited, super passionate about. And I will see you in the WhatsApp group. Have a good day. Bye.